To begin with our 6 core exercises, starting with anti-rotational, we're going to start with the lateral plank walk. Beginning in plank position with your hands underneath your shoulders and your body in one straight line, inhaling and exhaling to engage your core. Simultaneously move your right hand toward the left as you step your left foot out to the left. Then simultaneously step your left hand and right foot to the left, returning to plank position. This workout targets your abdominal muscles, but the movement also targets the deltoids, pectoral major, and your biceps and triceps. Here, I've slightly flexed my knees to prevent locking my knees, which is a terrible habit. But locking your knees also takes tensions off your muscles and put tensions on your joints, which you don't want. A regression of this exercise is to perform a simple plank. It is easier than holding the body up with the hands. You can place the forearms on the ground with the elbows aligned below the shoulders and the arms parallel to the body at the shoulder width distance. The progression of this exercise would be a simple lateral plank walk with a wider base. Next would be the rotational core exercise, which is a seated twist. You can sit on a bench or a chair with a dumbbell in your hand, your knees slightly bent, and twisting your torso with your arms moving from your anterior core to your posterior core diagonally. The progression of this exercise would be adding an angle. So when you're coming from your posterior to your anterior, you're going to stop in the middle and do an overhead before going back down. The regression of this exercise would be not twisting all the way, doing only a half twist, and only raising your hand up above towards the middle of your chest. Now moving on to the lower body, we're going to start with a knee-dominant unilateral single leg squat. You can start by standing or sitting on a bench, a chair, or a box. You can extend your arms straight out in front of your body, putting one foot flat on the ground with your other leg bent. Extend your other leg out straight in front of you, and then press down with your heels and try to stand up off the chair or go back down onto the chair, slowly flexing your knee and pushing your hips back to sit. The progression to this exercise would be adding a dumbbell and increasing the angle above your head for an overhead squat instead of your arms being straight in front of you. A regression to this exercise would be a simple squat with no weights and being bilateral on 2 legs. The next exercise would be a bilateral hip dominant hyperextension on a Roman chair. You lock your heels under a pad or a roller with another pad to support your lower body as you recline face down. The exercise targets the lower back muscles, mostly the erector spinae. This back extension exercise complements the abdominals by providing a reverse movement of the core muscles. A progression of this exercise would be a slow loading on a recline when you're going down, and a regression would be coming halfway up. Moving on to the upper body, for a vertical pull, we started with a seated cable roll using a V-bar machine. With your arms extended, pull back on the grip until your torso is at 90 degrees angled from your legs. Your back should be slightly arched and your chest should be sticking out. A progression of this exercise would be placing your feet on the floor instead of having it leveled up so the weight can be more intensified on your core than on your legs. A regression of this exercise would be standing in a slight squat with your knees flexed, using a resistance band, just pulling slightly with less weight. Going on to an upper body push in a kneeling position, doing a shoulder press with dumbbells, flexing and extending the shoulders upwards and downwards, and then for progression, coming back down and rotating your shoulder for a supinated pull down, which would be called a Arnold press. A regression of this exercise would be sitting flat on the ground using a pole, a PVS pipe, or any stick or broom, and lifting it slightly over your head and coming down halfway.